Guys, welcome to this week's Patreon workout video. My name's Todd. We'll go ahead and get started. Get started with a warm-up. Go ahead and do some high knees. Try to get your thighs up past parallel, even as high up to your chest if you can. And we're going to take those high knees and we're going to take them out to the sides like we're trying to step over a fence. Switch it up to some straight leg kicks. Add a little twist. Remember to keep your core tight. Switch up some butt kicks. Go ahead and jog in place. Warm up your feet and your ankles. All right. Go ahead and stand nice and tall, arms out to the side, and we're going to do some shoulder circles. And switch directions. Make your circles bigger. Reverse directions, big circles. Now we're going to take our chest nice and wide, fingertips are pointed back with a nice chest stretch. And then we're going to give ourselves a big hug, trying to get our elbows in as close together as possible. Inhale, chest stretch. Exhale, switch which arm goes over top. Inhale, big hug. Exhale, big hug. Inhale, chest stretch. Exhale, big hug. All right, we're gonna go and take our stance wide, about shoulder width apart, and we're just gonna make some hip circles. Kind of like your slow motion hula hooping, getting those hips and warmed up. And reverse directions. Keeping that nice wide stance, hands to the sides. Slide one hand up and one hand down. Back to center, down to the other side. Inhale to center, exhale down to the side. All right, now we're going to warm up our wrists and hands and forearms. We're just going to take one hand and fold it at the hand and wrist. And then after we've done a couple reps, we can do the full arm extension. We switch hands. All right, everybody warmed up? We'll go ahead and get started. So our first exercise, we're going to get in a squat position with nice straight back, tight core, bent knees, and we're going to do some lateral walks. Remember to breathe and keep the core tight. The lower you go, the harder it is. All right. Our next exercise is going to be a crawl to plank. So we're going to bend our knees, slowly lower ourselves out to the ground, walk out into all fours, get in the plank position, hold that for a sec. If you feel like you got the upper body strength, you want to go ahead and do a push-up. Do your push-up, and then slowly walk back in. Stand up, squeezing your glutes, and repeat. All right, go ahead and do one more. All right, and go ahead and do some high knees. Right, now if you need to take a break, go ahead. If not, we're going to get into our next set. So we're going to start with the lateral walks. Get down in your squat position, straight back, tight core, and just walk to the side. All right, next set of crawl to plank with an optional push-up. Go ahead and lower yourself down. Crawl out onto all fours. Either stay there and hold your plank, or if you got the strength, go for the push-up. Walk back in. Come on up. right, that was set 2. If you need, go ahead and get a drink of water. Kept getting to set 3. We'll start with lateral walks. So get down to about a half squat position, straight back, tight core, looking straight ahead. All right, crawl to plank. Lower yourself down. Crawl out on all fours. Get into a nice strong plank position. Glute squeeze, core tight. Optional push-up. And crawl back in. Stand up. And back down. All right, last one.
That beats you going crazy.
All right, and go ahead and do some high knees. Right, outstanding job. All right, so our next set of exercises, we're going to be on the floor. If you got a little bit of a wide open space, that'll probably help. As you see, I had to change shirts in case your carpet isn't as soft as mine is, and we'll go ahead and get started. So first, we're going to start on our backs with our hands by our side and our heels as close to our butt as possible. Keeping our core tight, we're going to squeeze our glutes to bring our hips in the air. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some slow and controlled single leg marches. So remember to keep your core tight and to keep your glutes activated. Bring them all the way up and get the full leg extension if you want. We'll do 2 more on each side. All right, so our next exercise is going to be a roll. So this is going to be a core exercise. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of start into a hollow body position. So we want our feet off the ground, toes pointed, hands behind our head, hands pointed. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and roll on our stomach and then roll on our back. Just continue until you have to turn around. All right, good job. Our next exercise, we're going to be laying on our backs with the backs of our hands pressed into the ground. The knees come up over our chest. We're going to drop our knees to one side and our neck to the other. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite side. Go ahead and just float with your breath. If you want to try and make it a little bit harder, you can try to extend your feet. Just keep them shoulder blades squeezed together and in contact with the floor. Do one more to each side. Back to center and go ahead and just hug them knees in. Rock side to side a little bit if you want. Go ahead and grab on the outside of either one of your feet. This is called happy baby pose. It's a good little stretch for your hips. And if you got the hamstring flexibility, go ahead and extend your legs. And release, lower back down to the ground. So if you need to pause now and get a drink of water or catch your breath, go ahead. If not, we're going to go and get into our second round. So we'll start with the glute bridge marches. Squeeze your glutes, bring your hips off the ground. Slow and controlled. Raise one leg at a time in the air. You can either do the single knees or you can get the whole leg extension. Two more to each side. And lower back down. All right, next we're going to roll. So, feet off the ground, hands off the ground, hands behind your head. Toes and hands pointed. We're going to roll on our stomachs and then roll on our backs. Trying to keep our hands and our feet off the ground. Core is tight, glutes are squeezed. right. Go ahead and come back to a neutral position. Hands, palms are pressed against the ground. Knees come up. Drop your knees to one side and neck to the other. Exhale on the way down to the side. Inhale on the way up. Keep your shoulder blades squeezed together and then contact with the floor. If you want to make it more challenging, you can either extend your legs or the hand you're not looking at, you can put the palm down. But the hand you are looking at should be an open palm. Side. All right, take a break. Whenever you're ready, we'll go ahead and get into our last set. So start with glute bridges. At this point, if you're starting to wear out, you can just hold the glute bridge. If you're still feeling like you got the strength, go for the single leg march or even the leg extension. We'll do 2 more on each side. All right. Next exercise is our rolls. Fingers and toes pointed. Try and keep them off the ground. Tight core, glutes are squeezed. All right. Go ahead. Arms are down at your sides. Knees are in the air. Neck rolls to one side, knees to the other. Shoulder blades are squeezed together. Let's do a couple more to each side. All right. Go ahead and take a break, get a drink of water. Outstanding job. All right, guys, that was it for our workout part. We're going to go ahead and cool down and do a little bit of stretching. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stand with our feet about hip width apart. And we're just going to slide our hands down our legs, letting our back curl. Just try and get close to the ground. And then I want you to walk your hands out into a pike position. We're going to go ahead and do a downward dog. So we're going to press the earth away from us and try to press our chest towards our legs. We're feeling the stretch in our back and in our legs. Remember to breathe. It's okay if you want to pedal the back feet. You can play with the angle of it. Just remember to breathe. And we'll go ahead and walk it back in. Slide our hands up our legs, come up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. We get up to the top, shoulders come up and back. And reverse directions. All right, we'll go ahead and do one more. So, go ahead and slide your hands down your legs. Go ahead and just hold that forward fold stretch for a moment. And then when you're ready, you walk your hands out in front. Downward dog position. Press the earth away from you. Try to get your chest closer to your legs. And then while you're in your downward dog position, if you want to make it a little more challenging, go ahead and raise one leg in the air and do the three-legged dog. Keeping your core tight. Slowly lower back down. Readjust and switch to the other leg. Down. We'll do one more on each leg. All right. Go ahead and walk your legs back in. Slide your hands up your legs. Come up vertebrae by vertebrae. Shoulders come up and back. In reverse directions. Alright, we're going to go ahead and bring our legs together. Arms are down by our sides. Spine is nice and tall. Glutes are squeezed. Core is tight. We're going to raise our arms over our head, bringing them together over our head. Biceps should be just about touching your ears. So, keeping that glute squeeze and core tight, we're going to reach for the sky, letting our shoulder blades slide up our back. Hold it and continue to breathe. And go ahead on your next exhale, hinge over to the side, keep your glutes squeezed and hold. Back to center. For the sky, and on your next exhale, hinge over to the other side. Back to center. Go ahead and let those arms float on down by your sides. Shake it out. All right, we're going to go ahead and do one more after you let your shoulders cool down a little bit. So, feet together. Spine is nice and tall. Hands are by your sides. Glutes are squeezed and core is tight. We're going to raise our arms up over our head. Hands come together. We're going to reach nice and tall for the sky. And on your next exhale, we're going to hinge over to the side. Inhale back to center. Reach tall. Exhale over to the side. Inhale back to center, and let your arms float on down by your sides. All right, our next stretch, we're going to go ahead and find a wall for a little bit of balance if we need it. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab the top of our foot and try to pull the heel to our butt. Glutes are squeezed, core is tight. Spine is nice and straight. We're continuing to breathe. And what we don't want is we don't want our knees to come apart. We want to keep our knees together. And switch sides. and switch. Right, and release. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.